Hi, my name is Laura Smith, and I have the privilege of being your son or daughter's teacher for World Mythology Honors this year. I wish we were meeting in person tonight, and I cannot wait to get back to school and meet your sons and daughters in person. But I do want to say that I think that we are making the best of the situation this year. And despite some technological glitches, things are running much more smoothly than the spring. And it's been a pleasure getting to know your sons and daughters even through this kind of limited venue that we have via technology. Just a little bit about myself. I've been teaching at East since 1994, so there's probably not a class in our English department that I haven't taught at some point, um, including AP Language and Composition, which I'm also teaching this year, and I taught last year. So I do have the pleasure of having some of your students for a second year in a row. We are doing everything we can to make the process simple and streamlined for your sons and daughters this year. I have decided to use Google Classroom because it's a user-friendly platform and the kids are very used to it. So every day they know to log into their Google Classroom, to click on the permanent link in the banner that leads to our synchronous lessons, and that there will be a slideshow posted with the agenda, links to any materials that they need, the activities we'll do for the day, and any assignments if there are any. They will also be submitting all of their assignments through this Google Classroom site. I want you to know that if your student ever misses class for any reason, or if the technology glitches, they can always log in to that Google Classroom at their leisure, and they are going to have all of the information and materials that they'll need to be successful for that day's lesson that they missed. This is what their Bitmoji classroom will look like. I just thought you might like to see it from their perspective. This would always be the first slide, and then following this would be slides that would give them the lesson steps and procedures and materials in the order they would approach them. So what we are going to be studying this year obviously world mythology is great stories from around the world, but it's also increasing your son or daughter's cultural literacy, preparing them for college, and just making them all around better readers and writers and communicators. So our main goals are to study different cultures through diverse lenses and prepare for college. So on the left, you'll see that I approach the class chronologically as much as I can and culture by culture. So we start in the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia, and we work our way, again, roughly chronological order around the world. We study these myths academically. So we're not just learning the stories, but we're looking at them from a historical viewpoint. We are looking at their culture through an anthropological, sociological viewpoint, and we're studying archetypes and common themes that show how the stories that we tell reveal hopes and dreams and issues of maturation and growth from a psychological lens that are inside of all of us, regardless of the place and time in which we live. And of course, the main goal here is for preparing your student for college. We'll be starting by writing their personal statement. I've got two girls, one who just graduated a four-year university, one who's at Wabansie Community College. So I understand that getting those college applications and making those decisions is really on your son or daughter's mind, and probably a lot on yours too. So I see that as a mother and as a teacher. I know that this year is more complex than ever, but I hope that I can be a resource for all of you in getting those applications done and maybe even making the college decision. To prepare them for the rigors of college academics, we're making sure that they're approaching very complex texts, older texts, translations, which can be difficult, and then a lot of scholarly interpretations and historical texts about the myths. We will also be utilizing a number of ways of presenting our learning. We will be writing traditional papers, research papers, but I think the silver lining of remote learning is there are a whole lot of electronic platforms that your students will be using in not only college, but life beyond. And this gives us a fantastic opportunity to practice using those to give presentations. Okay. My emphasis for this class is for there to be a lot of student choice. There is so much information about mythology, so many different cultures that I like to